All right, we are offloaded. Now we just gotta wait for paperwork. He's doing his inspection now, and then we are gonna head to Ogallala. Words are hard. Too many G's, L's. Head to Ogallala, Nebraska, and pick up that truck. We'll see how far we make it today. 3 hours and 15-ish minutes is what I sat at the Blue Beacon. So if you want to open up a truck wash, start a business somewhere around Denver, Lakewood, that area, that's a great place to start one. They could use about 5 more. The guy checking in said they might try and get the washes taken out of the next contract, because they've had a lot of problems with people being late, just because it takes up to 4 hours to get through that beacon. So, but it is beautiful here. It's way nicer than when I left the house. I think it's pushing 70 degrees. The sweatshirt's almost too much. Hoodie, whatever. I'm waiting for him to get the slide outs in so I can take my battery back off, my battery pack, get our paperwork, get it turned in, and be on our way. It's been kind of a long day and haven't really made it too far. So, but we'll see how far we can make it. We should be able to get to Ogallala. It's 2.5 hours from here. Grab that truck, and then we'll see if we can. No, I can't, but we'll see how close we can get to Grand Island. I know I'm going to be too short on time with all the wasted hours I had today, but I'm going to have that. Nothing goes perfect every time, but all right, I'll talk to you a little bit. All right, we got our broke down truck all loaded up. It's kind of convenient. The truck stop I wanted to stay at is literally half a mile that way. So that worked out nice. About an hour's, ran out my 14-hour clock, so we got PC over to the other truck stop. And then this guy is getting dropped off in, I think it's Marion, Indiana. And then dropping it off at the shop that usually works on this guy's truck. So he'll be up and going again. Not sure what's wrong with it, but it won't start. One of those days. Nothing's really gone wrong, but nothing's really gone right. Everything's been time consuming. Burned up my 14-hour clock. I think I got 8 hours of driving in today. Blue Beacon at the TA outside of on the edge of Denver, I guess I'm gonna call it, in Denver. I think it's actually Commerce City. Holy smokes, that place. I've never been through there in less than 2 hours. It was 3 hours and 15 minutes today. I almost missed my noon appointment. Well, actually, I did miss it, because they scheduled us 2 campers, so one's at noon, one's at 12:30, and I got there at like 12:20. I called him and told him I was running behind. He said that they've been having a lot of problems with that. So he said there was a couple drivers that got stuck there for over 4 hours. I don't know. I personally think it's a bunch of crap. If we got to sit for 2, 3, 4 hours, there should be some sort of reimbursement, detention pay, something. Because if we're doing cars and we got stuck, you know, for whatever reason, we could actually hold the car and not deliver it until we got some detention pay or something like that. It'd just be nice if they just do their own wash. I mean, campers, as far as I know, is about the only industry in transporting that requires you to wash your campers. I've done boats before. Never had to wash them. Never had to wash cars. Just campers. So I don't know, unless there's something else I don't know about, but pretty much seems like the camper industry is the only industry you gotta wash your camper or wash your load. Then you get reimbursed for it anyway, but it's just a waste of your time. Could have got 3, 4 hours of driving done. Actually, tonight I could have. It took me 45 minutes to get unloaded to get the paperwork signed. And if I wouldn't have had to do the wash, I could have easily made it back to Grand Island tonight, even with picking this up. But instead, I'm 2 hours, 2.5 hours away. So that kind of sucks. But I don't know. What do you do? I guess. All right, we're gonna run across the road, get parked for the night, and make some supper. now Tuesday night. We made it to LaSalle. Yeah, we're outside of LaSalle a little ways, Illinois. Stopped in the rest area. Kind of talking with my parents. I talked to them for a few days, so I thought I'd give them a call. And I just happened to look down at my logs right as I was passing the rest area exit, and I only had 14 minutes left in my logs. I was like, yeah, so bonsai'd into the rest area and calling in tonight. So we still got this truck. We're gonna deliver that tomorrow. We got, I think it's 4.5 hours left, and then we'll be to Marion, Indiana, where this thing goes. So get this thing off. Then I booked a load going to Billings, Montana. So the reason I did that is it's pretty much straight through where I live, and I gotta do a 34, so I'll be able to have enough time to get this dropped off. And then we're gonna, geez, just cruising through here. So we're gonna have enough time to drop this off, pick up that load going to Billings. We'll get to Walcott, probably park it there. That's my goal. The Iowa 80. So hopefully we'll be parking there tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Then we'll be home Thursday, do our 34-hour reset, head out Sunday so we can deliver in Billings on Monday. As long as the weather's doing all right. I checked the weather, the forecast out for now, and it's supposed to be actually pretty nice out there. They're talking 50s and then I think upper 30s for lows. So as long as we don't have any high winds running across on 90, should be good. Snow in the forecast, so that'll be nice. But this has been one of those weeks where the last 2 days, the stuff I've saw, dealt with, whatever, it's just like, what else? So like I said before, we got stuck at the Blue Beacon for 3 hours and 15 minutes is what it showed on my log. So with the TA being so packed and such a long line going into the Beacon, you could pull into the TA, but you couldn't get down the line to get spun around. So you had to go through the fuel island, and I saw a semi pulling ahead, so I just pulled in behind him so I could get through when he was pulled out of there. And so I pulled up behind him after he pulled ahead. I never seen him get out of his truck or anything like that. So after, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, I walked up there to see if he was in there, and I just missed him. He has his tablet suction cup to his windshield, eating lunch. So I kind of knocked on the door and I was asking, you know, if I could get through, and he said no, he's doing his 30-minute reset. So there's plenty of room where you could have pulled ahead up to the building, so then I could have squeezed out behind him. And you could tell it was just a complete pile up of trucks at the fuel island because nobody could get through any of the other rows. So you pretty much had to go through the fuel island to get a U-turn to get back in line at the Blue Beacon. It was a disaster. So he kind of threw a fit, but he did move about 5 minutes later, and he was creeping across the parking lot doing 5 mile an hour or less, so he didn't kick his ELD in. And that's the kind of, you can turn on duty and yard move, or hit personal conveyance on off duty and move across the yard. You don't have to go 5 mile an hour. I do that all the time. I've never had any issues with it. Never been told differently that I couldn't do it. So I could be wrong, but I've never had any issues. It's pretty much what that's there for, I think. You know, you can do the on-duty yard move and it still counts towards your 30-minute break. So yeah, I had to deal with that. And then the 3 hours, 15 minutes going to the Beacon. And then we got to Ogallala. We got this loaded up. Went to the TA there to stay the night, right across the road. I had a little cafe in there. Well, been making microwave food all week, so that cafe looked really good. So I go in there, and they do breakfast all day, 24 hours, whatever their hours are. So I was kind of feeling some breakfast, so I got the country omelet, and it came with 2 pancakes and hash browns. Anyway, the guy he hands me the menu, brings me my drink, says he'll be back in just a minute. Well, and then he's behind the counter for like 10 minutes just scrolling through his phone. I was literally just getting ready to go up and ask him if I could order, and he starts walking over toward me, so I thought he was going to take my order, but here he takes the order for the people next to me, They had literally just walked in, and the lady had sat him down like 2 minutes later. And so I asked him, like, can I order? And he's just like, he like looks at me and his eyes get really big. He sees the menu still laying on the table. And he's like, I thought I took your order already. He goes, I was actually just gonna go ask the cook and see if yours was ready. So anyway, I ordered the country omelet, hash browns, and 2 pancakes. About 10 minutes later, he brings me out country fried steak, eggs, hash browns, and pancakes. I don't know what he was thinking, but I was like, whatever, I'll eat it. I'm hungry, I don't care, I'm not waiting any longer, it's fine. Well, anyway, the pancakes were not part of it, so that was like a $3 add-on. And I think the country fried steak was like 20 bucks, where the omelet meal I ordered was like $12.95. So I figured he was gonna charge me for the omelet, and no, he charged me for the whole thing. I was like, holy cow. It's just, yeah. And then today, I got stuck at the Bosselman truck stop. That guy was doing a 30-minute break in front of the fuel island again, so I got fuel and I couldn't get out. Usually they, at the Bosselman truck stop, they actually have quite a long pull-ahead area. So if you'd actually pull ahead all the way to the yellow line, there's actually enough room where you can sneak out behind. But no, he didn't pull that far ahead. He got out of his truck, went inside, and I don't know where he went. He was gone for a long time, so I ended up waiting until I had room. I had to back up and leave. Let's see. Oh, and then I get to the Iowa 80. I was gonna top off with fuel there in Walcott. Fuel was like $4.12, I think, after the EFS discount. And anyway, this RV transporter, not gonna name companies or anything, but he's fueling up. I pull up behind him, but I stayed back a little ways just in case one of the other islands opened up a little bit. There's quite a bit of room at that pilot, if you've ever been there before. So I held back just a little ways just in case another island opened up first. I could, you know, go left or right a little bit. Anyway, he gets done, puts the fuel nozzle back. He backs up right to my truck and opens the door and waves at me and gives me the one finger like 1 minute. I'm totally confused. I don't know what he needs 1 minute for. There's no one in front of him where he could have pulled straight ahead. The next thing I know, I'm assuming it's his wife. She zigzags between me and the truck next to me and pulls up to the fuel island in front of him and fills up. I don't know where she came from or whatever, but I shouldn't have left the room to go left or right. That was probably my fault. But then to back up, it's like, oh boy. I go into the pilot after finally getting fuel, and there is a guy literally using this sink to take a shower. He's standing there with his pants on and no shirt, no nothing, shampoo on the counter, washing his hair, washing his beard, and a huge wad of wet paper towels, scrubbing his armpits and his stomach and his back and stuff. Like I said, the last 2 days, stuff I've seen and the little thing, it's just like, wow. I don't mean to turn this into a complaining video, but some people amaze me. And shortly before I got to this rest area, there was an impatient lady in the left lane. I tried turning the camera on, but in the 5 seconds that it takes the camera to boot up and start recording, I missed it. There was a truck passing another truck. I was in the right lane. There's the truck in front, 2 cars, and then it was me. In the left lane, there was a truck that was, you know, takes 2 miles to pass and doing a half a mile difference, mile per hour. And so he's taking forever to get around. It had been like a mile and a half or so. And they had a whole pile of cars in their left lane. This lady finally creeps ahead of me in the left lane far enough. She cuts me off and takes off like crazy. Almost rear ends the car that was in front of me. Takes the shoulder on the right side, and there was a off-ramp right there. I was thinking she was gonna take that off-ramp. No, she used that as a passing lane, passes the 2 cars that were in front of me, gets beside the semi, and the exit lane ends. Well, there wasn't a whole lot of shoulder, you know, period, but she was too far to the right. Well, her right side tires of her Equinox went in the grass. She got really squirrely. I hit the brakes right away because I thought that right then and there an accident was gonna happen. But she passes the truck on the shoulder and half on the grass, cuts back across in front of the truck in the right lane and gets on the center line, and then I can see her between, you know, the two trucks in front of me. And all of a sudden she's in the center line. I thought she was gonna go to the left lane, but she got on the center line and slammed on the brakes. So now everyone was on the brakes. I thought there was gonna be a huge pile up. I grabbed the handbrake on the electric brake controller for the trailer. I was on the brakes pretty hard. I just wanted to make sure there's plenty of room with people in front of me. And plus I was already slowing down once she hit the shoulder, so. Oh yeah, that was interesting. But the bad part was, this all happened at like kind of the bottom of a hill. So now both them trucks are trying to speed back up, going up a pretty steep hill. So that was another 3/4 of a mile of going uphill, and two trucks going from 20 to 25. After that, the Equinox, they hauled and got out of there. I couldn't believe that though. I was really wishing my camera would have turned on quick enough, but by the time my camera turned on, it just looked like a bunch of us driving slow in 2 lanes. You couldn't see anything. So. Yeah, crazy stuff. People, no patience, no common courtesy, no common sense. Don't be those kind of people. If you're gonna be at the fuel islands and you pull ahead, you know, get your stuff, get out, turn it on to personal conveyance and move over if you got 10 minutes left for your 30-minute break. Some of you new guys that aren't, you know, used to this, like truck stop etiquette. But I haven't been at a rest area for a while. It's kind of shocking. I drove by this place quite a few times, and there's trucks lined up all along the road and everything. 9 o'clock at night, 8:30. We got parked around, I think it was right at 7, a little before 7 I got parked. This place is only half full, and there's still quite a few open spots. There's a few trucks pulling in here and there yet, but I see one back there, I think. Not bad at all. Haven't seen a rest area or truck stop that hasn't been swamped in quite a while. Alright, that's enough complaining for right now. Just don't be cutting people off on the right side of the road. Don't be sitting at the fuel islands. Don't be that guy or gal. So, alright, we're gonna have supper and then call it a night. Get up about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, yeah, 5 o'clock, yeah, 7. So yeah, I can be up and going by 5. Up and go by 5, so that way we can hopefully have this thing delivered by no later than 10. We got a 2-hour drive north to Goshen. No, we gotta go to Elkhart. So this load coming and going to Billings is out of Elkhart. So we're gonna grab those and hopefully make it to Walcott by tomorrow night. Alright, I actually categorized it as a level 1, so nice little $100 bonus. The lady was super nice. She was also training a new guy, so she thanked me for being nice and all that stuff and cooperating with them, because it did take a little longer since she was training. But so she came out and thanked me for that, and then I told her, I'm like, oh, I guess since he was in training, I said I should have raised a little hell and gave him a hard time. And she grabs me by the shoulders and shakes me and starts laughing. But no, these are good people here, so I think that took us about 35-40 minutes. That kind of killed a little bit of time, but worth a $100 bonus. So now we are on our way. We're gonna go drop off this truck and work our way back up to Elkhart and go grab our load. made it to the Iowa 80 for the night. Went in, had some supper at the Iowa 80 kitchen, I think it's called, whatever it's called. And then Courtney was on her way out and she grabbed a camper and she met us there. Now she's taking off, heading home right now. I think her camper is about the same length as what my two are. But haven't seen her in about a week. I'll be home tomorrow though, so. I got mine loaded, she got hers loaded, we were on the phone talking, and here it ended up we were only about 12 miles apart. So after we got through Chicago and stuff, we actually ended up catching up to each other, so we decided to stop and have supper together. So that was a nice little break in the run for the week. Oh yay! It's Thursday morning now. Courtney should be home. Well, she did text me she's home, so she made it home last night. She's probably passed out though. She'll be sleeping for a while. But we're gonna have to deal with the north wind today. Flags out of the north, and we got all recharged. Oh yeah, now we're all ready to go. Oh yeah. Didn't even run the generator last night. I think it got down to 50, and that was it. But we got 5 hours to get home. Just checked all of our lights, checked the tires. And how do you know that you just came out of Indiana? When you get horse doo-doo on the front of your truck and the front of your trailer. All right, let's get on the road. See what kind of adventure we have today. I was told they're building a new Sparky's over here by Fort Dodge, along with rebuilding the one there that burnt down, but I'm assuming that is it. So it'd be nice to have another one in here. When you run across 20, you got pretty much Grundy Center over by Waterloo, the windmill, and then you had Sparky's over by Rockwell City. And there's nothing really in between. So if they get another truck stop here in the middle, that'd be pretty nice. Then you only got, I suppose, what, an hour and a half in between stops. So gives you more options to make a pit stop or get fuel. Sparky's, the one over by Rockwell City, they always seem to have cheap fuel too. I always topped off there when I needed to. Or whenever I went by, I'd always top off there just because pump price is always seems to be lower than a lot of the EFS discounts that we'd always get. Plus they got good food. They got a lot of good food there. So if you ever run across 20, well, there you go. There's a little update on that. When we get up here to Rockwell City, I'll film a little bit of that and show where they're going. I heard rumor, true or not, I don't know. I haven't really seen nothing in the news or papers or nothing like that, but just from people talking. The Sparky's in Rockwell City, they're gonna get the pumps going again, and then I think it's Godfather's that's in there. They're gonna have that opened up again, and then some bathrooms, but like the actual convenience store, the actual convenience store part of it, they're not gonna fully build that until later this year, so at least there'll be a pit stop anyway. But I'll show you that when we get up closer to it. Alright, we're going by Rockwell City now, the old Sparky's. Got some equipment there and a lot of vehicles parked there, so got some new cement pads, it looks like, maybe for the new building, I'm not really sure. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We got the, assuming that's going to be the temporary building possibly. Not exactly 100% sure, but my guess would be that's going to be the temp building. It means it's far back like it is, away from the pumps. But that will be convenient when that thing gets up and going again too. Highway 20 could definitely use a couple more stops. As busy as this road is, it acts just like an interstate almost. At night it's pretty dead though. It's pretty quiet. Don't have to deal with all the traffic at night. I really like running across 20 at night. You get between, I don't know, 1 in the morning and 6 in the morning, and you can go all the way from Waterloo over to Sioux City and maybe see 20 vehicles all the way across Iowa. During the day though, it's pretty busy. So that's kind of the update on the Sparkies for any of you guys that run up this way or kind of curious about it. So I'm kind of hoping that one over by Fort Dodge, I was told it's the Sparkies. So I'll have to look into that a little bit, see if there's anything, any articles or anything online about that. But I didn't see no pumps or anything like that being installed yet. They're still putting the building up, so all that could go in later, but that'd be really nice if it was. And it looks like a pretty nice building going up over by Fort Dodge too. Really kind of sucks when that Sparky's over here by Rockwell City burned up. That was one of my favorite stops. We got, I don't know, let's see, we got an hour and 40 minutes. We'll be home. Call Courtney and see if she's dropped hers off in Sheldon yet. If she hasn't, I'll probably ride with her and run over to Baumgart's and I'll grab some stuff to patch that tire up with. I'll patch it myself. Put a plug patch or something like that in there this time. And then we're going to do a PCV reroute on the truck this weekend. So it's still blowing a lot of oil through the intercooler tubes and stuff ever since I put this new turbo on. So I'm starting to wonder if I'm not building up a bunch of crankcase pressures. And I don't know what you call that little box on there. I think it's supposed to act as a filter. It's all part of the emissions. It reroutes the vent right back into the intake, so that way you don't have that oily smell, I guess. So we're gonna reroute that down along the frame, so that way we're not blowing all that oil fumes and whatnot through the intercooler and through the intake and back through the engine. We'll see if she's delivered hers yet. If she has, then we'll just turn that into tomorrow's project. We'll probably do that in another video. I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. It's kind of a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not difficult at all. So we'll go over more of that later. Yeah, I know, me too. Well, it's been about 6 days since the dogs have seen me, so they're going crazy. Ah. Good Lord. These two. But we made it home in one piece. Ran into a little bit of rain going across 20. And then I noticed too on these campers, they must be running short on doors. The outside trim and the door doesn't match on this one. But on this other one, whoa! I thought he was gonna take my legs out for a second. This one's got black and black. Still must be kind of a somewhat of a part shortage or just using what they can use, but that one looks kind of off. It's not the same door at all. But well, I think that's gonna end this video. Sunday, I think the boss is coming with me this week. Gonna run to Billings and drop these two off, and I don't know what we're gonna do after that. Do some work on the truck this weekend. Put that PCV hose on there to reroute it so it's not blowing all that oil residue, whatever, through the turbo, the intake, intercooler, all that stuff. It's actually a pretty easy deal. Just got to go get some couplers and a 7/8 hose. So, well, I guess be courteous, drive safe, and we'll see you in the next one.